Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Carrie. I am a medium and a channel, and I love doing these readings for you. Just before I turned on my camera, I checked in with Spirit. I said, what do my people need to know today? What's the message? And they did reference the Akashic Records. So, the place of wisdom for all of your soul's history, knowledge, guidance. And I feel like we're going to be channeling some information for this collective. So, let's first start with a little bit of incense, a little bit of smoke. Let us just release anything that no longer serves us, and then unwinding anything that is in the way, obstructing, and bringing forth the highest good. Let's begin. I was really drawn to pulling on my inner child deck. And just today, as I've done some private readings and I've been working with clients, I've been drawn to very deep work for people to release blockages that are obstructing them from their spiritual path and to gain insight, wisdom, and clarity. And April just feels like this month that is really intentional, at least on a spirit level, when it comes to opening up and accessing your full wisdom within your own life, your own body, and to bring that down into every part of your life. So let's just shuffle and see what's coming forward. Bringing forth the messages for your highest good, wisdom, guidance, clarity. And at the same time, we're going to just tap into the Akashic Records. We're opening up with this collective the wisdom of what do we need to know today. And just as I'm sitting in the records for this collective, if this resonates, I'm getting the beginning of a gateway. So I am getting this image of being at the gate, right at the gate, and of this, what looks to me like a fenced area. And the fenced area looks shadowy. It is not clear. It is evening. It is dusk. And you cannot see what's on the other side of this fence, this gate. I've seen this also in several clients' energy fields during my readings this week. And so what it makes me feel as though as many of you are right on the edge of moving right into the next stage, but the stage you're moving into is not totally clear yet. And more than likely, the human part of you is chomping at the bits, wanting to get the information, wanting to get clarity, wanting to make sense of things, which is a natural response. We all do that. I do that. And when I want clarity, that's when I reach for my spiritual tools to be able to transmute, release, and move away. And because many of you are feeling in this collective are wanting to really be standing in your purpose, doing your spiritual work in this lifetime, but not being clear on how to get there. And that's where this reading is headed. That's what I'm feeling. First card coming out, be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining. And then we have this gorgeous little Pegasus here. So what that's really saying is that, first of all, we have to believe in the things we can't see. We have to believe in the unknown. We have to believe in the unseen. We've got to take steps even when we don't feel completely confident or clear what is coming next. That's important. Next, you can do hard things. It is not as impossible as you may feel. You'll also notice right here, there's a symbol of a dragonfly. That might resonate for some of you. It's not as impossible as you may feel. The other thing I'm really sensing, and then I was getting this from the readings I've been doing, is this bariatric pressure that's coming and compressing your chakra system. That's making you feel almost claustrophobic, as though trying to navigate and get clear in order to move to the next step, to get the clarity, to get the downloads, to get the recipe for what your next step is. However, I don't sense you're going to know that for several weeks. So, this is a really important time for you to then focus on what you do know, the truth. And here is a message: you are enough. You do not have to give more. So, that has a lot to do with, yes, you want to move ahead, you want to get to the finish line, but at the same time, you really have to accept that you will get there, that you are enough, that even though you're wanting to dash forward and get as many answers as possible, part of the exercise you're going through, and I talked about this earlier in the week, is that energy of Saturn, of construct, of time, of waiting for synchronicities to unfold and giving yourself that bandwidth, that space to allow it to occur. So, not rushing ahead to the next thing. Next, we have you are worthy. You are worth it all, my love. This is important to know because one of the messages that I think many people get, especially if they're stepping onto their spiritual path, and let's say some of you do want to do this work, or you want to understand what your work is, and you've worked hard at it, but the answers aren't coming. So you can interpret this as being something negative, and that can lead to destructive thinking. And that's why it's really important to stay the course, to stay grounded, to not get spun out, and to allow things to go too much into the spinning rotation of acceleration, to really be as grounded and as calm as possible. Let love guide you. Choose to see the good in the world today. That's really difficult right now. That's the choice that many of us need to make. Is, are we stepping into the timeline of stress, lack, fear, worry, destruction? Or are we sitting back, trusting the process, leading with love, filling our hearts with surrender and balance, knowing Spirit will give us our next steps? And action is a normal part, especially during Aries season. There's a motivation to just move forward because of the energy, but now is the time you, again, want to give yourself lots of space. Now, I pulled some of the cards that I love so much and have such a connection with, and they're so beautiful. These are the Woodland Wardens Oracle and the Woodland Wardens Tarot. So I'm very connected to both of these decks, and I'm excited. So let's see what messages we really need to know. What do we need to hear? I'm going to move my camera down so you can see the cards a little more clearly. So here we are. Let's get started. So let's pull 4 tarot cards just to see what's the overall energy for today. What do we need to know? Okay, we're getting the Hierophant, the 3 of Pentacles, the Magician, and the 7 of Wands. And they want me to pull one more. Five of Pentacles as well. So that is very telling, isn't it? So I'm really intrigued to start from this point, actually, as opposed to the first card I pulled. And why would I do that? Because this is where the story begins, the story of lack and pain, distrust, and what is making you move and want to move quickly. And the reason is because 5 of Pentacles, you're coming from a place of lack. You're coming from a place of being broken. You are coming from a position of what you've known in the past, which is, if I don't work hard, things won't work out. That is always going to push us into wanting to move forward faster because we don't want to feel those feelings. We don't want to visit the position of not having enough. And the point with this is really to know that you're not in that position anymore. The Magician, you're in a place of starting anew, of abundance, of clarity, of having a lot of choice. And that even if you took longer to create the thing you're meant to do, this soul-led work you want to do, whatever it is, whatever you're drawn to, because of being patient and connecting with spirit and being in flow, using your intuition, making sure 7 of Wands, you have boundaries about your energy and your intention, everything is going to unfold beautifully. You'll also, 3 of Pentacles, have many people helping you along the way. There's going to be people that you connect with, people that you co-create with, people that you are in community with, and people that you enjoy being around. And this can be very much related to the work you're going to do, whatever it is, because I do feel like we're talking about doing heart-centered work. I'll call this soul work. That is who I'm talking to today. And if you are in transition, it's always the time when we often feel the least confident, the least stable, and also that we feel that we've got to act faster or things won't work out. Sometimes it's so much better to just sit back and allow things to unfold and know that even though you're planning something, the plan may not be the thing that you're meant to do. The Hierophant is also here too, so likely some of you are going to need to either get some more education, training, development in order to help you along the way of whatever it is you're creating, whatever it is you need to learn, whatever it is that you are going to be mastering or putting into the world. We all need support and help at different times. And I know for myself, being even a spiritual business mentor, I've had to have a lot of help along the way learning how to have a business and then how to help others have a business as well. And there's been many stages along the way. But again, take your time with it. Whatever you're doing related to work, it's going to take development, time, and patience. The Horse and Bluebell, modest fortitude. One thing about whenever we see the symbol of the horse, what we can know is that it's grounded stability, and it also take the pressure off of yourself, knowing that you're creating something that is long lasting. So humility is important. Also, the Otter and the Cattail, peace. So just having a sense of letting go, feeling as though all things are going to work out for you, not feeling that pressure. The Goat and the Willow, overcoming obstacles. This is definitely an internal challenge for you. That's what I'm feeling. And it is something that you will learn more and more how to overcome. So again, we're going back to the beginning of this reading where we really need to almost surrender to the fact that things are going to work out, but we don't need to have it all figured out. Here we have the Skunk and the Magnolia. Again, we're getting 2 cards about protection here. We got the 7 of Wands, and then we also got the Skunk. So making sure you're taking care of your own energy, your boundaries, and taking time to not try and rush ahead. Regulating your energy is very important. Let's pull some Lenormand and see what we get for this reading. Again, when I'm in the Akashic Records for you, this energy, and even before this reading, I was coming up against resistance. That's how it felt. Like I'm coming up against a wall. I'm coming up against something that I have to be patient with that is not yet revealed. Let's see what that's about. The Bear is here. The House, yes. The Tree, all things that do not move fast. The Whip. And then the Rider. Okay, this is delicious. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, any time when you're getting the Tree and the House, I have to tell you, things do not move fast. Tree has to do with your physical body, right? Your health, your well-being. And then having it next to the house has to do with your home, your connections, your community that is in your family. So these 2 things are showing you all the things you're plugging away at and the things you want to have happen, this just takes time. We're in the third dimension. It's some things are going to move quickly, and then some things are just going to take time, especially when it comes to something that's long term and that you really want to invest in. And there we are. Speaking of investment, we have the bear. In Lenormand, when it comes to these other things, this has to do with financial stability, providence, investment. It's a maternal energy too. So, whatever you are nurturing, these are all things that are just going to take you time and where you're going to need to learn from that energy of restriction. Again, earlier, if you check the reading I did earlier this week, it had a lot to do with the energy of Saturn, just pulling us back, putting us into details, making sure we dot our I's and cross our T's. Then finally, we also have the whip and the rider. So the whip is about something continuous that keeps happening. And because it's connected to the bear, which is, again, investment, long-term foundations, financial. It's you doing things repeatedly to make things successfully happen. So example is me doing this YouTube channel, it takes a while to be found on, this channel, and you have to repeatedly upload videos and keep believing in the vision that you're doing and not give up, right? Continuously. And then eventually you will have success. But if you don't stick with it, if you don't do the repetition, if you don't have the vision, if you don't know what it is, things will not come to fruition. But then finally we have the rider with good news coming, which makes me really feel like all the things that you're challenged with at the moment are going to pay off. Now, I want to look at, before we come to a close, I would just want to look at timelines. I think this would be a good place to be as far as when we're going to be moving out of this type of energy. I'm going to pull 3 cards for this because I feel this for my clients. I feel this for my students. I feel this for myself. And what do we need to know? So here's what I'm getting. So we're in Aries season right at this moment when we're listening to this, although it's a timeless reading. Whenever you're listening to this is exactly as it's meant to be. We're still getting that this will get a reprieve, I think, a little bit later in April. So it feels to me like it's probably going to happen more mid-April. So in a couple more weeks, this energy of being pulled back or being restricted or not having things move fast will start to shift. Because we're getting the Page of Swords with still the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands. So that when we get the Page of Swords right next to the Queen of Wands and then the Page of Wands, it's saying we've got to look back to check what we need to pay attention to before we move on to these big energy of manifestation, of creation, and of creativity. So things are going to shift. I'm going to pull one final card just for your final message. Thank you again. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you say hello in the comments. I would love it if you could like and subscribe and share. And I'll see you on the next video as well. Bearing fruit. So this is all things are going to come to those who wait. That's what I'm hearing. And that's not always an easy thing to do. So make sure to give yourself time, space, and grace. All right. We will see you on the next reading. Take care.